It's a warm welcome to you viewers as we meet on this week's episode of Crime Watch, brought to you by your police service, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, to inform you of our roles and operations. I'm your host, Tendeka Dandaradzi. It's good to have you along. The Trafficking in Persons TIP Interministerial Committee recently held its first quarterly meeting in Harare, where they were deliberating on issues of human trafficking, which as of late hit most Zimbabweans, especially women. The four pillars in the TIP, which are prosecution, protection, prevention, and partnership, gave feedback reports of what they had done and gave recommendations. The Permanent Secretary of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, who chairs the meeting later, addressed journalists after deliberations of the meeting.
We have heard our young women being lured to Oman to work as domestic workers. And the conditions under which they are working there is very much akin to slavery. Government is concerned about that development, and as a committee, we were deliberating on ways we can use to extricate our citizens from that situation. Plans have been put in place to repatriate our citizens from that country. We work as pillars, four of them. We have given each other tasks to ensure that our people are taken back home. I would want also to advise our citizens to be aware of this threat, which is quite pervasive throughout the whole country. It's not just trafficking in persons where people are going out of the country. Trafficking in persons is even happening locally, where people are being removed from their places to new places for purposes of exploitation, be it in terms of labor or even sexually. We have had also very unfortunate situations where we have repatriated people who have been trafficked to other countries, a typical example being Kuwait. They come back home, but they are again re-trafficked to other countries. So far, our prosecution pillar, which involves the police and the courts, are handling 18 cases. But we do know that there could be as many as 30 people. Some of them haven't reported yet. But by way of estimation, we think we could be having as many as 100 people in Oman currently. Our citizens must be aware of this threat, and government is doing the best it can to ensure that we get rid of this scourge.
Meanwhile, in Manicaland province, CID Mutare have arrested a gang of robbers who were terrorizing motorists along the highways.
Our CID district in Mutare has been receiving a spate of robberies whereby two accused persons, Atlo Machekera and Phineas Basera, would wave down motorists for transport. Eventually, they would rob such motorists of their vehicles and the other valuables, including cell phones and cash. So what happened after receiving those reports, we made strategic deployments in Mutare as well as in Marangi area, because information from members of the public had pointed out that accused persons were driving towards Machine. So after those deployments on the 10th, we had one member of the Force Constable Science whose vehicle was robbed. He jumped from the moving motor vehicle, and these two accused persons had to drive the motor vehicle away. Our team in Marangi was activated, and they moved from Marangi going towards Mutare. They could not find the vehicle, but the men had continued. They located the black Honda Fit, which had been dumped by these two accused persons. Information from villagers was picked by these police officers, and they managed to track them. Unfortunately, when these two accused saw police officers, they began to flee away, and one, Arturo Machekera, was shot on the right foot, and they were then arrested. We managed to recover 2 motor vehicles and some other valuables. So I'd like to thank members of the public for supplying valuable information to the police. If we continue like this, I'm sure we will be able to suppress crime as we always hope to. Our provincial commanders in Manicaland province supplied us a special vehicle to carry out this operation to kill the armed robbers, and we used it quite well to arrest these two.
On that note, we take a short break. Join us shortly. Welcome to the second segment of Crime Watch, and thank you for staying with us. Following a number of murder cases which have been happening across the country, Crime Watch visited Marondera to follow up on a story of a serial killer and rapist, Bright Shintali. Let us hear more from our reporter, Elliot Kudzaiganyan.
It is a story that left Zimbabweans and indeed the whole world speechless. You must have heard of 30-year-old man, Bright Shintali, the man who committed the most treacherous and atrocious of crimes, murdering not 1, not 2, not 10, but at least at the time of this Crime Watch cruise visit, he was facing a total of 19 murder cases. 19 women perished at the hands of this man-come monster. On hearing this for the first time, one will be forgiven for wishing to wake up from what could be thought to be a nightmare, a fairy tale, or a horror movie. But believe it or not, these killings happened in real time. We visited Marondera to unpack these disturbing events and spoke to detectives in Marondera, and they took us to a number of scenes where such dead bodies were found. We are here at one of the places where one of the dead bodies was found, and the dead body belonged to a pastor.
Panondo patakawana imwe boti. Yanova mufundisi.
Okay.
Anga achinamata ari munzvimbo ine. Mukomana akasvika akatomboparidzirwa namufundisi, asi nekuda kwechinangwa chake haana kusiya nekuda kwekuparidzirwa, akabva azobata mufundisi, vakarwisana vari panzvimbo inei. Vakakungurutsana vakanosvika kachidistance apo.
Okay.
Panova ndipo pavakazokwanisa kuvarepa. Apedza kuvarepa akatora demo ndokuvatema ndokuvauraya ipapo. Iye akasiya akanyora kanoti ndokubva akasekiwa kuti kasaende nemhepo achishandisa bhaibheri. Kanoti kanga kakanyorwa kuti ndini maisiri wekuhwedza, tinouraya vakadzi vanenge vakaita seizvi, vanenge varamba zvatinoda.
Now Townsend Kaomba, who happens to be the brother to one of the victims, that is Granny Kaomba, aged 61, led us to the place where they found the body of his sister in an advanced state of decomposition. A place called Hunyani, which is the remote place in Marondera, sparsely forested in the middle of a maize field.
Something chiri chakasvika apo chii apo chisagi chewaiti chiri pasaidi ndo patakazotena kusvika panapa. Musoro wanga uri panapa, kwende kwese kwanga ari naked, makumba anga ari panapa apa, ndo papa ine makumba, hembe dzawo blouse nekajuzi ndo zvakaitwa phiri papa. Inonzi vakabva pambana 10 o'clock iri Friday, vachienda kumunda vachiti chabhonotsvaga tutsotso, right, vaenda kuyehuye havana kudzoka. Saka muzukuru vanogara nemuzukuru wangu mwana womukomana nemurora. Saka mwana womukomana ndiakandifonera 8:30 zvikanzi sekuru yaikuno hakuna kumira mushe. Ndati aini zvekufamba usiku zvinonetsa kudombotombo kure mazano kurupondo ano. Zvikanzi sekuru yaikuno hakuna kumira mushe. Ndakabva ndapinda murodi ndichisvika mumba zvikanzi mama havasikuwanikwa panapa, vaenda kumunda enda vasati vadzoka. Ndobva taenda mapurisa kunoripota.
Detective Chief Inspector Fanuo Nyakuwanikwa, the officer in charge CID Marondera, gives a brief on police investigations.
After arresting him, we have interviewed him and he confessed to have committed 9 murder cases in Marondera area, 4 murder cases in Manicaland. We have also invited CID Bindura. They've also come in and they've also cleared 5 cases to give a total of about 19 murder cases. So on top of the 19 murder cases, we also have 1 rape case and 1 robbery case, and investigations are still in progress.
So brutal and callous were the killings that included stoning, strangulation, stabbing, axing, and in one of the murder acts that he committed in Dombotombo, Marondera, he went on to wrap the body in a blanket, set it ablaze, burning it beyond recognition in order to conceal the crime. The Marondera community, just like all you Zimbabweans out there, and indeed the whole world, are in shock. They just can't believe this.
Ndauya pano papolisi kuya kuzoona mhondi yanga yanetsa muno Marondera. Mwana wechidiki wataona kuti anoita basa rekuuraya vakadzi. Vana mai vake ndochonyanyondirwadza kuti mwana uyu munhu wese akaberekwa nemukadzi. Saka sei akanga achibata madzimai achitawe kuuraya kudaro. Kunyanya mai ava vanhu vakadzi vese vakafa muno zorwadza. Mai ava vakafa kuGrasslands mupastor vaya. Next line yangu yandogara nayo pastor munhu akanga atoenda kunonamata. Ini ndakagara muno Marondera 1978 kusvika zvatinambobvira takanzwa kuuraya kwakadaro. Achipisa vamwe achitewe kupisa apa avarepa. Saka takazoona mhondi iyoyi ende mwana yechidiki ndo to make matters worse ndozvinyanyotirwadza.
We say to our police who did a very, very good work, well done. Our police officers continue doing a great work for our own nation. The community is coming with a lot of contribution in terms of supplying information. This case of this particular murder, it was through the community which then supplied a very, very comprehensive information and leading to arrests.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police is not only there to arrest criminals and ensure their prosecution, but is also there to help prevent crimes from happening. The Provincial Relations Liaison Officer, Mashonaland East Province, Inspector Simon Chazovachi, gives us some tips on how to prevent such crimes from recurring.
We want to urge members of the public to avoid associating with complete strangers, especially when you are alone. Avoid traveling during the night or using secluded places like going through maize fields. Develop a habit of notifying someone you trust, a friend or a relative, whenever you want to embark on a journey, no matter how short that journey might be. Avoid making decisions while it's under the influence of alcohol. If you hear an imbiber promising you huge rewards without hesitation, it might be he's up to something bad. It should act as a red flag.
As the police here, we are very happy that we've been able to account for this accused person, and we have been able to clear the majority of our cases here in Marondera. We are so happy that at least women now, especially, are now getting the confidence to go about their business within Marondera town. But then again, we'd also like to urge the community not to relax, to be always conscious and be aware of strangers who come in and visit our areas so that they can call upon the police to profile some of these people whom they don't know within the communities, so that we are able to get rid of perpetrators of crime within our area of policing.
Police is continuing with investigations to find out if Bright Chantali could have committed more crimes. Really disturbing stories, and there seems to be more in the Pandora's box. On that disturbing note, we go back to the studio where we will rejoin Tendekai Dandaratsi.
That was Elliot Kudzai-Ganyani reporting on such said incidents which occurred in Mashonaland East Province. We now move on to traffic safety issues, where we are joining Lucy Kuwandira of the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe.
As we were celebrating Women's History Month, we as Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe embarked on a series of campaigns where we were educating the woman driver on how to do basic car maintenance. Now, here are some tips. Number one, you have to check if you have a reflective vest and a reflective triangle. All these are for visibility. Also check if you have a wheel spanner, a spare wheel, and a jack, in case you have a tire puncture. The spare wheel should be the same size with the tires that are fitted on that vehicle. Make sure your oil and your coolant are at the recommended level. And lastly, check if there are no kids under your vehicle. We also educated women on how to change a tire in case they have a tire puncture. The first thing that you need to do is to pull off the road in order for you not to distract other drivers. When you pull off the road, make sure you wear your vest and take your triangles, 2 triangles. The first one, you put it at the back, at least 30 meters before your vehicle. And then the second one, you put it in front of your vehicle, at least 30 meters. Place your jack underneath your vehicle, and before mounting the jack, loosen the nuts on your wheel. After that, mount the jack, and this allows you to remove the flat tire. Then you take your spare wheel and place it on the vehicle, holding it side by side. Push the nuts diagonally and hand tighten the nuts. After that, remove the jack and use the spanner to tighten the nuts. Remember to take your tools back to the car. All these tips do not apply to women drivers alone. They apply to all drivers. Remember, be smart and drive safe.
Welcome to the third and final segment of Crime Watch, and thank you for staying with us. In a move which is set to ease the search of missing migrant Zimbabweans, the International Committee of Red Cross, ICRC, has donated computers and scanners to Interpol National Central Bureau in Harare.
We gathered here to hand over some IT equipment to the Zimbabwe police to help them in their effort to find missing or deceased migrants who've gone missing. And this is a project that the ICRC have been working on for many years here in Zimbabwe and in South Africa. Through our efforts, many missing families were able to reconnect with their loved ones who they thought were missing. We have started now a new process of handing over to the Zimbabwean authorities this project and giving them the capacity to manage the project from A to Z. So at the end of the day, our hope is that when someone is missing in Zimbabwe, the family can go to the first police station, report the missing cases, and that case will be treated up to South Africa, and a reply will be given to the families. The missing crisis is an important one. Many people here in Zimbabwe no longer have news of their loved ones, and the Red Cross have been very, very active helping them find answers, be it positive or negative, so that they can mourn their lost ones if they are lost, or they can reconnect with the loved ones. So thank you the Zimbabwean authority in general for agreeing to be part of this project. Missing people have a plight that's important, that's a humanitarian plight. For everyone that is missing, there are many who are missing them and desperately yearning for their return.
We are grateful to the ICRC for the donation which they have made towards the missing migrants and missing persons project, which has been ongoing since the year 2021. What we have here is equipment which includes 10 personal computers and 10 printers with scanners, which they have donated towards the project. This equipment, which is state-of-the-art, the latest equipment, will go a long way in further enhancing the project. They'll go to provinces where the provinces will now be able to access Interpol databases so that they can have all the information about missing persons and other databases which Interpol has to offer.
In Kadoma, ZRP Kadoma Rural is enjoying cordial relations with members of the public through various community policing initiatives. One such initiative is the Neighborhood Watch Committee. Crime Watch interviewed the member in charge Community Relations Liaison Office, Kadoma Rural, on their relations with the Neighborhood Watch Committee in fighting crime in their policing area.
As ZRP Kadoma Rural, we have got so many community policing initiatives. These include the Crime Consultative Committee, the Business Against Crime Forum of Zimbabwe. We've got the Junior Corps. We also have the Police Constabulary Unit. We are very privileged to have a total number of 102 active Police Constabulary Unit members. These members, they help us to fight crime from within our area. We've got about 6 policing areas. They help us in various ways to fight against crime. Mostly, they arrest criminals and bring them to the station. We also involve them whenever we are carrying crime awareness campaigns to educate members of the public about crime prevention in their areas. These members of Police Constabulary Unit, they always visit our station at least once a week. We teach them about food drill. We also educate them about the police knowledge, general police knowledge, police duties, so that they can be well equipped. Whenever they are doing their duties in their area, they will have enough knowledge, especially when they are effecting arrests. As ZRP Kadoma Rural, we are happy that we also have women who have volunteered to join the Police Constabulary Unit so that they can help us in curbing crime in our area. With a total number of 102 Police Constabulary Unit members, 40% of that number are women. We encourage you out there to join our community policing initiatives. This will help us to fight against the common enemy, which is crime. Should you want to join any of these community policing initiatives, please visit your nearest police station. They will assist you.
Before we come to the end of this week's episode, here are some of the people on the police wanted list. ZRP Donington is looking for Fikile Mpofu of house number 6, Churchville Road, Bellevue, Blawayo, for a case of rape. Wanda Sakunda, age 30, of house number 5798, Mukoba 7, Gweru, is wanted by ZRP Mukoba for a case of unlawful entry and theft. Lastly, Cosmas Janeni, age 31, of house number 61, Old Mbizo Kwekwe, is wanted by ZRP Mukoba for a case of attempted murder. Anyone with information that may help in the location of these people can contact any nearest police station or contact us on the following details. Visit our website www.zrp.gov.zw or email us on feedback@zrp.gov.zw. Link with us on our Twitter handle @PoliceZimbabwe and like us on our Facebook page Zimbabwe Republic Police. We are also accessible on our YouTube channel Zimbabwe Republic Police. If you fail to reach us through any of these communication channels, we have a national complaints desk which is manned 24/7, ready to offer you service, and the number is 0242 703 631. We have come to the end of this week's episode. It has been a pleasure having you along. From me, Tendeka Dandarasi, and the crew behind the scenes, pleasant viewing.